Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? CheFPV here. Troy, ATXRC Productions, Zero Ground FPV, wherever you want to find us, right? Instagram, YouTube, all those places, Facebook. But today, we have, you can read there, boom, Eagle Orange 4.3, made in China, NTSC. And this is from Runcam. So we got ourselves... Bam! Runcam Eagle. Yes, sir. There you go. So in the box, let's get it opened up like we always do. Just want to do a quick unboxing, talk about the features of the Eagle, what make it so great, supposedly. And we will get this thing mounted up on a quad and do a little test. So, let's see. First of all, Runcam has changed their packaging just a little bit. They have added this code here, which is a QR code, but more importantly, underneath the silver part, it actually has a scratch off and gives you your code for identifying genuine Runcam products, as well as whenever you're doing your warranty stuff, all that. So again, there you go, just like regular packaging, Runcam, blah, blah, blah. 140 degree view, field of view, and it is the 4.3 version because I do not use stretched cameras because I have Dominator V2s which run 4.3. As usual, you have all your typical 30-day money-back guarantee, blah, blah, all those things, Runcam. 800 TVL, your little startup guide, just as usual. Runcam has always been really pretty darn cool and good about providing a decent little package. It also walks through some of the settings. So there you go. Man, the orange on this is so much brighter. I don't have one laying around here, but it seems like the orange is brighter than the plastic orange color. But just like your typical Runcam, there you go. It's got a little eagle. Their new little things. Oh, and there you go. So you heard when I dropped it, it did not sound like plastic, and that is because this thing has, again, back to the metal housings. So Runcam used to offer these metal housings on all their cameras, used to be metal. If anybody wants to go back and think about the original PZO 420M, I believe, was the Mini, or the Sky Plus, all those things. It used to be in these great little aluminum or some sort of metal housing, not painted, but now they're painted with their fancy colors, right? So awesome with that. That's great. Hopefully these things will hold up to a little more damage than typically. That means, though, that you're obviously going to have a little more stress on the lenses when you do hit them and break or crash and hit the lens first. But we'll see how that holds up. Other than that, you have your standard plugs on the back for the most part. The OSD cable does look like it has more prongs than typically, more pins. But 5 to 17 volts, so just as usual. Great thing about this metal housing is the screw holes now. They are no longer plastic with the pressed in metal fitting that pulls out, or just straight plastic that you go and you put a screw in and take it out and it's now wallowed out, or bigger than it was before. So they're actually threaded into the actual housing now. So that's great. And let's take a look at the packaging and see what it comes with. There's your lens cover for your wide angle lens. These things come now with these wide angle 140 degree lens. It's funny, when the original Owl came out, people used to tell me that I was crazy for flying with wide angle lenses. 2-3 months later, everybody is flying with wide angle lenses. I love a good wide angle lens. So lots of reasons why. One of the main reasons why I like a wide angle lens is the tilt factor. You can get away with much less tilt on a wide angle lens than you can on a kind of narrower vision lens. So on a narrow vision lens, I might have to tilt as much as that. But on a wide angle, I can get away with that and almost even running flat in a lot of situations. So it just gives you a lot more variety, or a lot more room in picking your angle. So Packaging as usual. There you go. There's their new OSD cable though with the extra pins on there. And then there's the OSD selector cable. So keep that on you. Awesome thing is that you now have a complete port to use it. That allows you to actually keep it plugged in and just plug into the back of it in the field. So that's awesome. Here's going to be an output cable they include with almost all their stuff. I mean, this isn't going to really be used for us in mini quads, but it is great that they provide this stuff if you are using these cameras for other things. Basically, you can plug this into the back of the camera for the output and then plug this in somewhere else, and you can have like a camera sitting up somewhere, like a security camera or something, really. So that's really cool. And, of course, your typical VTX or power source cable, wherever you're going to use it, plugs into the back of the camera and then goes into your VTX. I usually don't use a variety of these. I use the ones that come with the VTX, and then maybe I'll pull the 3-pin housing off and use it. But this is also quite interesting here. So it looks like definitely some different things, and I'm not sure exactly what they're for here. But you have your mount. Typical Runcam mount. Comes with a hex tool because the screws are no longer going to be Phillips. They're actually going to be hex, so that's great. It looks like it's got the 2 long ones, and those are for mounting the housing, and it has some nuts for those. I'm not quite sure what the brass spacers and the plastic spacer washers are. I can only think that maybe they're used, like maybe the brass spacers go on the outside here to kind of get you in the mount. If you have one of those mounts that kind of go over the old, you know, the little nipple that used to sit out where the screw went in. That's the only thing I could think of with those. I'm not sure. And then the plastic washers, again, I don't really know. The only thing I will say is, like all Runcams, be careful with inserting too long of a screw in the side of the housing. If you put too long of a screw in the side of the housing, you'll first risk breaking the PCB board that's inside, or 2, shorting them out. Had a guy this weekend at a race actually turn on his quad, and all of a sudden it started smoking at the camera. It was a ground that was occurring by him having too long of a screw. It was going in and apparently touching probably a positive portion of the PCB, and then it was grounding out on the carbon. Luckily, he unplugged it quick enough and backed the screws out far enough to where it wasn't an issue going forward. He didn't ruin anything, but just something to keep in mind. Really, that's all we can talk about. Awesome. Runcam's great with their packaging and what they provide, and I'm very excited to test these metal housings. So we'll take a look at those. We'll get this thing together and on a build, and we'll fly around with it, and we'll get you some footage. Till then, fly safe, fly smart, fly for fun, fly Runcam, guys. Awesome. Peace.